on Ravelry and Instagram, and welcome to the show. This is episode 91. Today is Thursday, October 4th of 2018, and I am so glad you're here. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. Let's see. Today we've got lots to talk about. I've got some actual knitting, some future knitting. I have some things that I've been reading. And we have contest winners to announce, so I'm so excited about that. But first, let's start with some family news. Let's see, Brian is on a work trip today. He left yesterday afternoon, and he'll be back tonight sometime. The kids were so upset when they realized that he was leaving on a trip. He doesn't often travel for work, and he doesn't do a lot of like outside traveling, like just as on his own. And so when he leaves, it's really hard on the kids. Evan cried like half the way home after he realized that Dad was not going to be home last night. But I was like, it's okay. I said, you can take Dad's spot in bed and make sure that you help to keep me nice and warm. And he totally did. So he was happy about that. It gave him a purpose, you know. What else? Owen he's in choir. He's our oldest son who's 15. He earned a spot in the Southwest Missouri Honor Choir, which is really kind of incredible. He's a freshman, and it's really quite difficult to get in. You have to do a scale. You have to demonstrate that you know like sharps and flats, like for certain notes, chords, and then you have to do sight reading, which is, you know, of course, interesting. So, but that's going to be, I think, later in November. I think there's their performance. So that's exciting. He's very proud of himself. Oh my goodness. It's really sweet to see. Ailish is back in drama club this year. She is, last year she played a deer in 2 different plays. She was a little bit disappointed. She told me this year, she goes, Mom, so long as I'm not a deer, I'm fine. And I was like, okay, well, that's awesome. So she's not a deer, but she is an extra in this Christmas's Charlie Brown Christmas play. So she's a little bit disappointed in that. But, you know, I told her, I said, you know, if you want to do choir, if you want to do drama club, I said, I totally support you, but you have to understand that, you know, you can't be upset if you don't get the part that you want. You know, there's going to be lots of people saying no to things when you're in those kinds of groups. And so, you know, working on your world not falling apart if someone tells you no. You know, that's a good lesson to learn. So she's, her attitude is okay now, but she's definitely, you know, she's trying to be the best extra she can be, which is awesome. Evan, finally back to himself. He no longer cries when he sneezes, thank goodness. He had his tonsils out September 7th, and it was very rough going, and he's now back to himself, which is excellent. And he has a teacher who has very high expectations of her class. He's in 3rd grade, and you know, it's kind of a tough year. You're learning multiplication and division. You know, they're learning cursive. They're, you know, there's just lots going on. And so, you know, he's battling some tummy aches right now, which is kind of a bummer. I think it's just a nervous tummy. I have it. Mama Linda has a nervous belly. My grandfather had a nervous belly. It's just one of those things that unfortunately has kind of been passed on. You're welcome, son. And I feel awful for him, but you know, it's kind of one of those things you have to learn. If you're going to have this issue, you have to learn how to work through it too. So we've done different things to try and make sure that we're not exacerbating the issue, the problem, you know, like, you know, we're letting him wake up a little bit slower in the morning, and, you know, he's having a really mild breakfast, you know, nothing really sugary, nothing really, you know, not like, you know, cereal, you know, we're doing like toast. So I don't know. He's not allowed to have gum on the bus, which is kind of a bummer. I understand why, of course, but no gum. So we're trying mints to see how that'll help. And, you know, just lots of hugs and kisses and understanding and prayers. So that's it. The last thing, I had a sleep study done. What night was that? I think that was, no, it was Saturday night. You know, I've been having problems with sleeping and needing a exorbitant amount of sleep. Just the thought of it makes me tired. But I talked to my doctor about it, and she did a at-home sleep study where they put like a pulse oximeter on your finger, and then they record your oxygen levels in your blood throughout the night. And I did not pass that one, so they said, okay, we need to send you to an actual doctor for this. I don't know what his like a pulmonologist and sleep doctor. I don't think that's a thing. But they did an actual sleep study in the office where overnight, and I had to sleep for how long? I think I had to sleep for, they need at least 6 hours of data, and they got like 9 on me. And he comes in the morning, and I have like 20, literally, they count for you 27 things you're hooked up to. You've got like things in your brain, you've got like things here measuring like your blinking, you've got things behind here measuring your jaw movements, you've got like a nasal cannula that's like measuring your breath this way, and then it has like a wire that is like a microphone so they can tell what you're saying in your sleep. Stuff on your chest, on your back, one on each legs, and then like things like strapped around your belly to measure how much your body is moving when you breathe. So much. Oh, and a pulse oximeter. So I did not pass that one either. I have sleep apnea, and that basically means that my body is not getting enough oxygen when I sleep. And so, dang it, I'm gonna keep on yawning now. This is really obnoxious. So depending on which way I sleep, I don't get enough oxygen. And so I'm gonna go back in a couple weeks, and they're gonna fit me with a CPAP machine, which basically is gonna be like a mask over my face, and then it like helps to push air into your body, oxygen into your body while you sleep, to make sure that your brain is getting enough oxygen, because that's a problem. Your brain needs oxygen to function. And so they're hoping that will help me not need, good Lord. Why did I talk about this? They're hoping it'll help me not need as much sleep as I'm needing right now. And they're hoping that it will help with my daytime sleepiness, with needing naps during the day or feeling like I need naps during the day. They're hoping that it'll help me with just more clarity of mind in general, and with feeling more alert and having more energy. People that I've talked to, like on Instagram, and other people that I've talked to about this just in regular life, they have said that getting this machine was like life-changing for them, because like all of a sudden they had all this energy and they woke up and didn't feel exhausted. Because that's how I feel. I can get 10, 11, 12 hours of sleep and still wake up feeling exhausted. And that's a really hard way to live, you know? So I don't know, we'll see. Brian goes in think on the 19th for his. Oh, this is ridiculous. Brian is going in on the 19th. We went in for our initial consultation together because we're adorable, right? And so he goes in for his sleep study, overnight sleep study on the 19th, and then I think on the 2nd he goes back in for his second session if he needs it to get fitted with the machine and figure out levels and stuff like that. So I don't know, we'll see. It's interesting. The guy was so nice though. That helps. Okay, what am I working on? Let's talk about some knitting here, people. Maybe that made me stop yawning. Good grief. First thing, let's talk about Stony Brook sock blanks. I decided to go ahead and power through. I don't know if you remember me talking about that, but I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this whole sock blank situation. So I powered through. Here is sock number 1. Ta-da! I love this sock. It's so pretty. I am a little bit concerned though that it's going to be big. Not too long, but more like in width, circumference, shall we say. Here is the second sock right here. I have about 65 rows here. I need to get to 70 before I start the gusset increases. And so I am almost halfway done with this sock. I think it looks good. My plan had been to give these to Mom for Christmas because they're her socks length that she dyed, and I thought she would enjoy that. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this now. Mom, has lost a lot of weight, and her socks are now a little bit baggy, which is amazing. Who knew that you could lose weight in your feet? But I'm afraid that if these are going to be a little bit loose, especially after I wash them, then they might be stupid yawning. They might be just way too loose on her. And so I don't know, we'll see. What I might do is go ahead and finish the socks, wash them, let her try them on, and let her make the decision. Because she's going to love them no matter what, but I don't want her to feel like she is going to end up with a pair of socks that she can't wear because they're going to be too big on her. That won't be very fun. Unless she just decides to make them into like a sock that she wears with another pair of socks underneath, like when it's super cold. Or like, in a pair of boots or something. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Where's my bag? Here it is. Okay, second thing I've been working on are Brian's Christmas socks for 2018. Yay! The first sock has been completed. Let me see if I can get them on here. Here we go. And they look like this. I love this pattern. The patterning of the sock yarn, I should say. This is Cascade Yarn Heritage Prints. Oh, that matches me kind of nicely today, doesn't it? Yes, it does. This is color number 46. I bought this from my local yarn store up in Springfield. And I want to say it was around like $13, $14, which I think is a great price for a really nice sock yarn, especially like a self-striping, and one that will last for a long time. So here is the second sock. not as far in as I am on my Mama Linda's Sock Blank socks. There was a break in the yarn right about here, and so this will end up being the top of the foot, and this will be the bottom, just so that he's not having to walk on that extra bit of yarn there. Not that he has princess feet per se, but you know, I mean, just, you don't want anything irritating on the bottom of your feet when you're walking around. That's not fun. So here are these. Yay! Okay. Next. I love that sound. These are my my sock blockers that I got from the Loopy U many years ago. I don't know if they still have them, but they do have sock blanks. They still have sock blockers in stock. I do know that. These are the size large, but I like that, you know, they're kind of allow the air to move through. I've seen sock blockers where they're solid wood. I don't know how that works, but I think that having the openness there allows the air to move through, which I think would be very handy in letting your socks dry even faster. Okay, the next thing that I'm working on is my rose trellis shawl vest. I have some. Ta-da! I am on, what row am I on? I'm on just finished row 14. Not counting the 6 rows of garter at the bottom. Isn't that gorgeous? I made a mistake on row, what row would that have been? 13? I was on row 15 and got to the end and said, well, that's not right. Went back to row 13. Come to find out there was a problem with row 13. I had missed a yarn over, which is a bummer. So I had to tink back row 15 and then find where my problem was on row 13. I went back on row 14 back to that point, and then I just picked up where the yarn over would have been. Does that make sense? I kind of picked up that space there and created a yarn over. That way I didn't have to go all the way back to row 13, which would have been obnoxious. I mean, it would have been okay, but so I think this is just turning out so pretty. There are the roses, and here's the trellis. And I'm still on my first skein of yarn. I have quite a lot of yarn, so I'm sure I'll have some left over. But this is what it's going to end up looking like. This is a cascade pattern. It's a free pattern, so if you are enjoying it, if you think that it's pretty, you should check it out. It's by Vera Sanon, S-A-N-O-N, edited by Cascade Yarns design team. I have found one other problem with it. Also on row 13, they missed, the knit 6 slip marker at the beginning, and so I did end up having to work that row another time before that, because it starts with K6, as do all the other, oh, that was freaky with the color, yikes. It starts out with K6, which is how all the other rows begin, because you have a 6-inch garter, a 6-stitch garter border on the either side, but then it just says K6, and then it goes right into the directions. But it was supposed to be K6 slip marker and then K6 knit 6, whatever. So yeah, so there's a little bit of a misunderstanding there. So I'm being a little bit more cautious as I'm reading through, making sure that I am just being really like evaluating what I'm doing as I'm going, just to make sure, because you know, if there's one error in the pattern, chances are there might be more. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But I love the color. I love knitting on the lace. I am still having to make sure that I'm really careful and where and when I knit it. I can't have anything on the television. I can be listening to something, but not anything like where I have to be really like listening intently, because otherwise I will just mess it all up. Oh well. Okay, the last thing I'm doing is I'm washing my hand knit sweaters and accessories so that they're ready to wear for the winter and fall and spring. So I've done a couple of things. I don't want to end up with a wet bed full of, you know, hand knit goodies. So I'm trying to do just a little bit at a time. Today I'm hand washing my sweater that's made out of, what is it, brown sheep wool cotton. And it's an old sweater I finished when Owen was little, like it's probably at least 12 years old. And but I love it, and it's worn so well. I've actually considered making another sweater out of that yarn because it wears like a dream. And has a nice weight to it, but it's not too heavy because it has that wool content in it. It's awesome. So I'll be doing that today, finishing that up, along with probably a shawl or something to go with it to lay out to dry. Future knitting. Look what I found. It's my yarn for my February lady sweater. So this is the order that came. I think they did a really good job of matching. Look at that. Of matching the yarn. Isn't that great? And then here's that second skein. You can see this one probably matches a little bit more closely, but I think they did a great job. So I'm actually going to try and wind this up today, because my plan is to cast this on the 16th for my birthday. Don't you think that's a good idea? I think it is. So that's my plan. I'm going to skein, wind up those yarns and get them ready for a new project. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be beautiful. I need to swatch all those things. Right? Right. Okay. What have I been entertaining myself with? I finished Parks and Recreation. I'm really like rationing out Father Brown because there are 6 seasons, and I just finished up season 2, and I love him so much. He's just the cutest little thing, and I just want to pinch his cheeks, and I love all the characters, the range of characters that they have, and it's just so fun. It's such a cozy mystery. I finished listening to The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. This book reminds me a lot of an Agatha Christie novel. Very, kind of not anything like gross or gruesome or, like super intense or just mystery, and it was just, there wasn't anything, terrible. It was just trying to figure out what happened, and there's a little bit of suspense, in certain places, but not anything, to where you're like, your heart's racing and, you're in fear for I was in fear for her life for a little bit, but just really good book, and did not see certain things coming, which I love. I love to be surprised by a book. Isn't that just fun? I tend to be one who can figure out where things are going in like shows and movies and books. And not because I think I'm extra smart or anything. It's just I have this ability to kind of read ahead of where things are going and predict. And Brian, it drives Brian crazy. Like we'll be watching Grey's Anatomy, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. And then like 5 minutes later, that thing happens, and he's like, come on. Which is really funny. So now I just keep my things to myself because it bothers him sometimes. Yeah, so then I enjoyed that book a lot. I have another book of hers, I think it's called The Woman in Cabin 10, by Ruth Ware, that I have in my audio library, so I'm going to be listening to that pretty soon too. But I needed something just a little bit less, mysterious. So I listened to Be Brave, Eat Cake by Melissa Radke, which is a like a memoir, I guess. I don't know how you would, it's her book about part of her life, and she's hilarious. If you've ever seen the mom on Facebook who is doing the Red Ribbon Week rant about how Red Ribbon Week here is where it's like a drug awareness week and alcohol, and trying to prevent kids from using those items. And she's like, even if you wear camo, drugs can still find you. Like, just because you wear camo doesn't mean you're invisible. Drugs can still find you. Like, people can still see you and offer you drugs. But she's hilarious. That's what made her famous, or well known at least. And so, so I read her book. I listened to her book. It was really good. It made me think. It made me laugh. Made me cry. It's her learning how to be brave and do things, and it was interesting. If you like her, I think you'll like this book. If you don't know who she is, I don't know how you'll feel about it. You have to kind of know her personality a little bit, I think, to get it, or to enjoy it at least. Then I started listening yesterday to Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Really interesting book. Really interesting. I really have enjoyed it. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. It's a short book. It's like 6.5 hours, I think. And it's been a lot of fun listening to it. We found out that today I found out, my family's not here, so it was just me, that Thor made the tides with a drinking game. I enjoyed that a lot. And then Brian and I had Tuesday off together, and we did a few things. And one thing we did was we went to the local library, which we have a very tiny local library. It's not a public library, it's a private library. It's run by volunteers, and they do all their fundraising and everything. You have to pay to have a library card. I think it costs us $10 for a year for our family. And I like going and looking around. They don't often have things that I'm interested in. Sometimes you have to be in the right mood to find a book. But I found these books, and there were quite a few of them, so they can't be bad, right? And it's called Aunt Dimity's Death by Nancy Atherton. And I'm so interested. So I'll read the back to you. It says, until the Dickensian law firm of Willis & Willis summons her to a reading of the woman's will, down on her luck, Lori learns she's about to inherit a sizable estate if she can discover the secret hidden in a treasure trove of treasures in Dimity's English country cottage. What begins as a fairy tale becomes a mystery and a ghost story in an improbable, cozy setting, as Aunt Dimity's indomitable spirit leads Lori on an otherworldly quest to discover how, in this life, true love can conquer all. So this girl, Lori, grew up hearing about stories about Aunt Dimity from her mom, and she just thought that she was a made-up character that her mom had created, and come to find out she was a real person. And so now I'm not that far in. I'm 48 pages in, and so now she's going to be making her way to England to try and figure out whatever happened to Aunt Dimity, what caused her some pain in her earlier life, to solve a mystery. So we'll see what happens. But I have to show this to you. This is the cutest thing ever. First of all the chapters have flowers in the beginning, which I love. I think that's so cute. It's charming. It's, I think it's going to be really fun. But I love a good cozy mystery. I really do. And it's not difficult reading. I think I read the first 48 pages in about half an hour. And that was while I was waiting for dinner to cook. So that's pretty cool. But I have to show this to you. Evan's gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And he gave this to me. I was nervous about my sleep study. And I don't like being away from the family, especially the kids. And it was having a hard day at work the day before, and the day of, and the day after ended up being horrible too. And so Evan gave this to me the night of my sleep study, and it's this, and he goes, "Mom, this is the Smash and Grab card," and he goes, it destroys whatever is in front of you. And he goes, "You're going to crush whatever is in front of you. I just know it. So you keep this card. This is your good luck card." That's so sweet. Little 8-year-old brains. I love it. It was just the cutest thing. So I got, I couldn't find the second book in the series. I don't know if they have it. I should ask. It's called Aunt Dimity and the Duke. But this one is called Aunt Dimity's Good Deed. And this is Aunt Dimity Digs In. So I'll probably call the library and find out if they have the second book at all. If not, I will look for it elsewhere. But poor thing, oh my word. I looked on to see if they had him on Audible, because I have quite a few Audible credits stored up. And I like being able to listen to books while I do other things around the house, or while I knit, or, do whatever. And the books have the most horrible ratings on Audible because of the reader, which made me feel awful for her. It just made me feel so sad. They were just, like 2-star ratings, and, don't even try it, kind of, couldn't finish the book because of the reader kind of, reviews. And I was just like, oh, so I didn't even try. I just went straight for the book. So I will let you know how this goes. I'm excited about those. I love finding new series of books, just because I tend to fall in love with the characters, and then you've got like this whole like series in front of you, or you get to enjoy them and look forward to seeing them and talking to them. And we're not really talking, if you're talking to your books, okay, sometimes I do it, but you know what I mean. Don't talk to fictional characters too often. It makes you look crazy. Let's talk about our contest. This was the Festival Craft Along. I picked out 2 winners. We have our grand prize winner and our second place winner. Our second place winner I picked just because we had like 90 something entries, which I thought was wonderful, and I wanted to make sure that that we gave out another prize for that, just because I thought it was awesome. So our second prize winner was I Know Who You Are, with post 90 with her little black shawl, you win a $7 pattern of your choice on Ravelry as a Ravelry download. So contact me, Being Brianne, BeingBrianne on Ravelry, and let me know what pattern you would like to download. I will send it to you. And then our grand prize winner, the winner of the beautiful yarn, which also matches me very well today. Look at that green. Is, I'm gonna say this so wrong, and you're gonna have to forgive me. I think you say it Osa E, who was post 31 with her summer top, wins the grand prize of the gradient kit from 100 Sheep. Yay! Osa, contact me, Being Brianne on Ravelry, and let me know your address so I can ship this to you. And I will get it out as soon as I get your address. And I think you will love this. I can't wait to see what you end up making with this kit. I think it's just so beautiful. You can pair it with another yarn. You can knit it by itself into something. I mean, you don't have to pair it with another yarn if you don't want to, but definitely let me know when you receive it, or before you receive it, what you think you want to make with it, because I can't wait to find out. So that's that. I'm going to have another contest starting here, starting today, whatever day I get this up. I think probably be today or tomorrow. But I had a very sweet listener, viewer, she listens too, but she also watches, send me a message that she wanted to have me pick out a yarn from Dana of Unwind Yarn Company, and as a prize for the show. So here we have, I picked out this beautiful yarn here. This is Dana of Unwind Yarn Company's Journey Sock, and this is the Most Sincere Pumpkin Patch, which I think is from a Charlie Brown Halloween special. But I think this is just beautiful. This is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards in 100 grams. And I'm going to show this off to you because look at how fun that is. Now, I think that's a really fun fall color. I don't think that it necessarily has to be just a fall color, but I think you could wear that any time of the year. It's not like just so outlandishly Halloweenish or fallish that you can't wear it anywhere else or anytime else. So here's what I want for you to do is I want for you to go to Dana's website, which I would have been really smart to have that pulled up already so I can tell you. Give me 1 second here. I want for you to go onto her website and tell me what your favorite colorway of hers is. And what is your favorite, or what is your favorite yarn base of hers? Either one. She has several different yarn bases. She has lots of colors, and it's just beautiful to see, you know, all of her different things that she's come up with. She's really such a gifted dyer. She has at the top of her website, here it says, right here, Unwind Yarn Company, and right here it says yarn bases and colorways. I don't know if you can see that. Base yarns and colorways. But here's just a few of her selections. So go onto her website, which is unwindyarncompany.com, and that was easy. I could have figured that out. And tell me what your favorite yarn color or yarn base of hers is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Thank you so much to our viewer who was kind enough to do that for us, and for Dana who shipped it to me and was very helpful in assisting me. And I'm going to say that this is going to close on October 31st. So that gives you a few weeks to get this done. Today is the 4th. So that gives you a few weeks to be able to look up her yarn and see what you like. And then I will pull for a winner from Random Number Generator. And remember, you just need to be a member of our group to win on Ravelry. And just one entry per person, please. But you can pick as many as you like from her thing, but just one entry. So you're not, like, you can't do 5 entries, I'm sorry. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope y'all are doing really well. I was really encouraged by our sermon on Sunday was talking about living without regrets. And, you can change. People are very able to change. And you can live your life without regrets, and it's possible. And I like that. That's, there are things I wish that I could have done differently, but the fact is that all of these things have made me who I am. And so I don't want to say that I regret. There are very few things in my life that I would ever change, but I think, I am who I am, and the things that I've gone through and the choice that I've made have made me who I am, and that's a good thing. I am who God has made me to be. So it's a good day, people. It's a good day. My honey comes home tonight. My kids are doing really well, and I'm going to go throw some laundry in and read a book or knit or something. I can't decide what I want to do because I want to do all. Maybe I'll wind some yarn. Who knows? Well, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you in a few weeks. And until then, I want you to remember that you are knitworthy. Bye, friends.